Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 129 and I'm currently over here in Hermit Thrills, but the real Mumbo is currently in Australia. Yes, I am still down under. In fact, actually, by the time this video releases, I am going to be on my plane home. That's depressing. I haven't even left yet. Of course, I'm recording this before I leave. But by the time this video comes out, I'm actually going to be on the plane home. I might be in Singapore. I might be cramped into some horrible aeroplane seat. As a 6'5" person, okay, I refuse to pay for extra legroom just because I'm really stingy with my money. And I'm now just going to have to squeeze myself into this tiny, tiny seat. I can imagine it. You know what? When I actually get into my seat on the aircraft, I'm going to send a picture out. I'm definitely going to be tweeting pictures of this. In fact, I've got a bunch of video gear. I plan on doing a bunch of filming while I'm out in Australia. So maybe it might even be caught on camera. You never know. But anyway, as you can see, we are currently over in Hermit Thrills. We are outside the new Labyrinth game that I created in the previous episode of Hermitcraft. And as you can see right here, it's looking great. Like, seriously, I really, really like this build, and I love all of the colours. Like, they just look fantastic. We've got a little sign saying coming soon because, of course, I'm now away in Australia, so I'm not going to be working on this at all over the next couple of weeks. But it looks great. I'm so happy with that build, and I think everything went down really well there. But we aren't going to be working on that in today's episode. Instead, we're going to be using similar blocks. In fact, give me a second, because I've left a bunch of them over here. We're going to be using similar blocks. We're going to be taking a lot of these resources right here. And we're going to be creating a new area inside my base. Now, you guys know that recently I created a little bedroom for myself, and that bedroom was lovely. It was a seriously really nice little bedroom. I'm really happy with it. It had like the little bedtime alert thing and all that sort of stuff. But what I thought we could do is I thought we could make like a little homely area, because let's be real, I haven't made any form of like nice living spaces ever. In Minecraft particularly. Seriously, I've never done like just decorative things. It's always had to have a purpose. We've always had to have redstone involved. We've always had to have like crazy things going on or some form of farm. Why can I not just have a kitchen? I know there's no point in having a kitchen in Minecraft, but why can I not build a fake fridge, a fake oven, and fake bar stools and that sort of thing, and like a TV and stuff like that? I've never done that before, and I feel like that's something that I'm definitely missing out on. So now, episode 129 of the second series of Hermitcraft, which the second series is the second series I've been in. Third series of Hermitcraft, we are finally going to get down to business, and we are finally going to do some decorative building. And to be honest with you, I actually can't wait. But this episode is going to be just a tiny bit different. So I have taken to Twitter and I've asked you guys to ask me questions, because it has been forever and a day since I've done any form of ask me anything or a question and answer session. So what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd record myself building the entire living room and all that sort of thing, and I'd do it as like a big time-lapse chat. Now, I have a feeling this is going to split the audience. I have a feeling that some of you guys are really going to like this idea. Some of you are going to absolutely hate it, and I do apologise if you do absolutely hate this idea. The next episode of Hermitcraft is going to be completely normal, so don't worry about that. But I think this is a cool idea, and it'll be good fun, and it's giving you guys the opportunity to ask me a bunch of questions. Now, if you don't want to miss out on this in the future, then follow me on Twitter. Seriously, my Twitter isn't that boring. It isn't that boring. It's actually quite an interesting little read occasionally. And I'll put that down in the description, because my Twitter is great. It is at @ThatMumboJumbo if you don't want to click any links. So yeah, follow me on there. But anyway, let's crack on, and we'll do this question and answer session. Wow, this is a bit more intense than I was expecting it to be. Okay, so we're going to be getting things started today with a question from @LSThemo. I hope I've said your name correctly. I'm going to try my best to pronounce all of the names in this, but I'm probably going to mess all of them up because they are Twitter usernames. You know, they're not going to be particularly legible. But they have asked, what would you be doing if YouTube didn't exist? Now, that is a really, really good question, and it's something that I've thought about quite often, just because YouTube has been a massive part of my life for probably about 5 years now. Not necessarily on this channel, definitely not on this channel, in fact. I've had this YouTube channel for about 3.5 years, but it's been a massive part of my life for ages. In fact, for as long as I can probably remember in terms of, you know, my adult life, it's been a huge part of my adult life, and I really, really don't know, because I've always worked hard on YouTube, even when it wasn't my job. I've always worked really hard on YouTube. It's always been like a massive part of my life. It's been something that I've spent a lot of time on. So I'd say it's hard to imagine my life without having to make, well, not having, but making YouTube videos on a daily basis. It's really difficult to imagine what I'd be doing if that part of it didn't exist. I'd probably go to the gym a lot more often than I currently do. I'd probably be at university. In terms of like my actual life choice, I'd be at university, I'd be doing computer science, and I'd be working towards that job position. That's basically what I'd be doing. If I wasn't at university, I'd probably be doing a job probably in filmmaking or something like that. I do really love making videos, and I suppose if YouTube didn't exist, then I wouldn't have an outlet to do that. So I'd have to do something that involved actually making proper films that went elsewhere. I don't really know, but that's a really difficult question. It's fully stumped me there, but I imagine I would be at university doing computer science. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that one covers it. Next question comes from Arslan02S. I know I've said your name incorrectly there, so I do apologise for that, but they have asked Android or Apple. Another sort, I was expecting this question, to be honest with you. Now, I currently use an iPhone 5S. That's simply because build quality of the iPhone 5S is lovely, the camera on the iPhone 5S is fantastic, and it's small, and small phones are my favourite thing in the world, and I don't understand why everyone stopped selling small phones. But I do love Android phones. I've used plenty of Android phones in the past, and I don't know, if my iPhone 5S breaks and I can't get another iPhone 5S, probably going to have to hop over to the Android bandwagon, because simply Apple don't make small phones anymore, and that drives me around the bend a little bit. So unfortunately, yes, I have an iPhone 5S, and I am well aware of how angry everyone is going to be down in the comments section about that one. But next question is from @LDerpington. Do you have fan meetup for Australia trip planned? No, I do not. I'm planning on spending a lot of time with my family. Obviously, if I'm in the area, and if anyone sees someone that looks like me in Australia, by the way, just say hi, okay? That's absolutely fine. But no, I don't have any fan meetups planned in Australia currently. I don't know if I will. I've never really done that sort of thing before. But it is an idea. It is an idea. And if any of you guys live in Australia, let me know down in the comments section and tell me you want me to do a fan meetup. And then maybe if there's a large number of people that say yes, do a fan meetup, then maybe I might consider it. But at the minute, no, I don't have any plans to do that sort. @SystemBread said, imagine you one day woke up and found out your YouTube account was permanently deleted. What would you do? Oh, I don't even want to think about that, to be honest with you. But if I woke up and saw that my YouTube account was permanently deleted, I think I'd go back to bed forever. I think I'd go back over to my bed, I'd lie face down, and probably just weep into my mattress, because, as I say, YouTube is a massive part of my life. It's always been a massive part of my life. I don't know what I'd do without YouTube, so that would be awful. It seriously would be awful. I would feel terrible. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because otherwise, as you know, I'll be put out of action for a very long time indeed. That would be absolutely terrible. But @YouTubeFan1231 said, how long did it take for you to get good at Redstone? You know, good is a strange definition, because I personally still don't feel like I look at some redstone contraptions that are being built. For example, people like CubeHost and people like Seth Bling, who just made a programming language in Minecraft. You know, good is a very loose definition. So for some people, I'm good at redstone. I personally don't consider myself to be particularly good at redstone. Of course, I make a lot of redstone contraptions, and I love making redstone contraptions. It's my favourite thing to do, and I love just being creative and just coming up with new ideas and building silly things, whatever comes to mind. But am I good at redstone? I don't know. I don't know if I'm good at redstone. So if you're talking about how I learned the basics of redstone, it took a little while. It took quite a lot of trial and error and things like that. And I learned the basics, you know, over time, just through doing a ton of experiments and a ton of different redstone contraptions. But good, yeah, don't really know how to answer that one. Now, the next person said, are you going to make a video about your C63? And that is from @LawrenceVeen. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, obviously I love the C63, it's a fantastic car, it's absolutely awesome, and it's so much fun, but I've always hummed and hawed about the idea of making a video on it, just because, I don't know, I don't want to be seen to be showing off. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that I don't want to do? I don't know, like, I've always loved the thought of doing it, and maybe in the future I'll be doing like car vlogs and that sort of thing. I'll probably do stuff like that, or potentially like point of view drives, a bit like Seen Through Glass does, that sort of thing, like POV vlogs I think they're known as. I really like the thought of doing that sort of thing. But as far as like actual videos on my C63 are concerned, I don't know. I don't know if I'll end up doing that one. Who knows? The future might hold videos like that, but for now, I don't have any plans to do that. @Tomsy8 said, why have you not been live streaming recently? Now, that's a really good question. Unfortunately, I missed 2 weeks worth of live streams before I went to Australia. The first one is because I was stuck in the traffic on the M25 motorway. Apparently there was some like hellish crash, and then there's roadworks all the way down there as well, and it just meant that, yeah, it was chock-a-block and I couldn't get home. So unfortunately I missed that one. And then the following week I had been recording videos like a madman, and was still recording videos like a madman before I went to Australia. So unfortunately I didn't have the time, but hopefully, obviously I'm pre-Australia right now, so hopefully I will be able to record or do some form of live stream before I leave for Australia, because otherwise I'll be really upset. There will have been no live streams during January, and I absolutely love live streams, and it's something that I really want to get back into, but unfortunately things keep coming up, and just all my time keeps being just completely sucked away. So yes, just bear with me, live streams are going to be coming soon. Do not worry, I haven't given them up, so please don't panic. At the Pro Ninja 1307 said, if you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be? Now that is just an almost impossible question. I have no idea. I was thinking of people in terms of history, like way back in time. Obviously, I'd like to meet the original caveman. You know, that's like, that seems like it would be funny. That seems like it would be a really fun thing to do. But that's not a particularly brilliant answer to the question, is it? Obviously, meeting any of the great philosophers, any of the great mathematicians, obviously I could say people like Alan Turing or Albert Einstein and people like that, you know, that would be really, really interesting. But in terms of living people, for some reason the only person that's coming to my head right now is Chris Harris, which is completely ridiculous because he's a YouTube car reviewer, but he happens to be one of my favourite YouTube channels. But the thing is that I know that he lives relatively locally, and I know that he goes to quite a lot of the local car meets, so I could probably meet him by chance. I don't have to like wish upon this one, because that could probably end up happening anyway. So I don't really know what to say to that one, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd definitely say my best answer so far has been the original caveman, so I think I'm going to stick by that one. The next question comes from @DS who said, what would you love to do once in your life? Now, I was going to answer really like cliche and say skydive. I'd really like to go up into space. That would be good fun. I mean, space would be a fantastic thing, but I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime. So I think my answer is going to be, once again, it's going to be car related, and I'd just love to be taken out in a completely mental car, or if I'm really lucky, get the opportunity to drive a truly mental car. Something like a Koenigsegg, you know, any Koenigsegg, a Pagani, that would be completely bonkers, or any form of like proper racing car, like an old Group B rally car, like a Lancia Stratos or something like that. That would be amazing. In fact, being taken out on any form of rally stage by a professional rally driver would be a dream come true for me. So I think it's a relatively boring answer to the question, but being driven around in a completely mental car at great speeds, I think that's something that I would really like. Or being taken out in a top fuel dragster, you know, doing like the full quarter mile in a top fuel dragster, that would be bonkers. So probably one of those things, especially before, you know, fuel prices get absolutely ridiculous and we have to stop that sort of stuff. I think that's probably a good goal to work towards. Mr. Swagmaster21 said, when will you upload content to your second channel? That's going to be coming soon. Hopefully I'll be able to post some videos out in Australia or something like that, or maybe do some car videos or cat videos or tech videos in the near future. I plan on doing stuff on the second channel in 2016 for sure. Like, seriously, massive goal of mine, because I love making content for the second channel. Just unfortunately, my time has just been compacted down to the size of a pea recently. I don't know what's been happening, but I've just been super busy. So hopefully I will get a little bit more time and a little bit more sort of leeway and ability to move around, and I'll be able to make some videos for the second channel, because I know you guys love them and I love making them, so it seems like it's probably a good idea. The next question comes from @Martinster99. I apologise for completely ruining your name there, but they said, what sort of exercises do you do at the gym? Now, that's a relatively good question. I tend to focus on weight training and that sort of thing, so I do quite a lot of free weights. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into, but I do free weights and things like that, and I take it, over the past sort of year and a half or so, I've taken it pretty seriously, and I've definitely seen some positive results, because for anyone who's seen my old vlogs from way back, you know, I've got progressively thinner since the start of my YouTube channel. I used to be pretty fat. Now I'm not so fat, which is great. I'm really happy about the fact that I'm not fat, because Fat Ollie, he was less fun than Lean Ollie, I can tell you that. So yeah, I really enjoy the gym, and as I say, I focus on free weights and that sort of thing, just weight training, which I definitely find really enjoyable, believe it or not. @Springtrap6 said, what was your first redstone contraption? Now, I believe it was a piston door or double doors. I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember which one came first. I know they were the two very early redstone contraptions, but all I know is it was ridiculous. It was huge. This thing was massive. So yeah, I really did apparently struggle with that one, but thankfully I got a little bit better and I did a bunch more practice, and in the end I've managed to make them a tiny bit more compact, and I've managed to learn the basics as well. At Dario Lombardi says, aren't you low on ideas on Hermitcraft episodes? Absolutely not. I've got all of my ideas written down in my book. I've still got a bunch of plans. Obviously, we just built the ideas machine, which is full of ideas as well. So I'm absolutely loving making videos on the Hermitcraft server. Obviously, right now, I'm a little bit pushed for time with going to Australia and everything like that. But once I return, ideas will be flowing from my brain box like nobody's business. And we're going to be working on a ton of projects. So you've got that to look forward to. Now, at M_R_T245 said, just like you, I adore cats, but what do you love about cats? I'm a big fan of cats. I do really like cats. I don't know if I'm a cat person or a dog person. I think personally I'm a bit of a cat person. I think a dog would drive me a little bit mad, to be honest with you. I quite like cats because they don't really care if you're there. Like, they're not too bothered if you don't see them, which I know sounds really mean, but if I'm working on videos all day, my cat's not going to get really frustrated, or I'm not going to have to take him on a walk. He's just going to be like, oh, well, Ollie's upstairs, no biggie. And then when I come downstairs, obviously I stroke and play with them and things like that. But the thing that I love about cats is I love it when they think that they're being really elegant, and they're like really lively, and they're doing all their like elegant movement and things, and then they mess up and fall off stuff. I mean, Benji does that pretty much every day, and it never gets old. Just watching cats fall off things is probably one of my favourite pastimes. So yeah, that's what I love about cats. Now, the next person said, do you have a Snapchat? That's from @itstasians. I do have a Snapchat. I've got a personal Snapchat. I've also got my Mumbo Snapchat, but I have not used it for ages. It's another thing that I feel like I should probably do. So I might make a new Mumbo Snapchat, and I'll start doing snaps from there, because I think that's probably a good idea. As Snapchat's really fun, and it's probably one of my favourite methods of communication, just because, I don't know, it's really satisfying. So yeah, that might be coming in the near future. Now, the next question actually comes from a friend of mine, @Louis Karzenberg, who said, when am I going to see some more of you in some cars, pal? Now, that's a good question. If you mean in person, hopefully soon. Okay, I fancy meeting up again. You know, it was really good fun last time. We went to Goodwood. He happens to have probably one of the coolest cars in the whole of the United Kingdom. He's got a 67 Fastback Mustang that's just been restored. It's beautiful. It seriously is absolutely stunning. So hopefully very soon. Of course, I think I mentioned it in the previous episode of Hermitcraft that I'm planning on getting an Abarth 500. And yeah, I'll pop by with that and we can go out for a drive or something like that. But if you mean it on YouTube, once again, hopefully very soon. I plan on doing some car videos and things, some POV vlogs and some car reviewy type bits. Of course, if I get the Abarth 500, I plan on doing a bunch of videos on that one just because that would be great fun. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes well, you'll be seeing a bunch more of me in some cars. Now, I just feel like I should mention that Louis Karzenberg actually also happens to run a really brilliant YouTube channel called Life and Unleaded, and if you haven't seen them before, I would highly suggest checking them out. I will try my best to remember to put a link to their channel down in the description, but if I do forget, Louis, I do apologise. I'm on my way to Australia. I've got a lot of things going on, so I apologise if I missed that link. However, search it on YouTube. Life on Unleaded. Fantastic YouTube channel. Some of the best for car reviews on the internet. So I would highly suggest checking them out. @Benjam438 said, what gave you the inspiration to start YouTube, and did you think you would ever get this far? I started up YouTube because I don't know, I really fancied it. I saw what some people were doing on YouTube and I was like, I reckon I could do that. And that looks like a lot of fun. And I just started recording videos. That was basically the entire thought process behind it. And then me and my friend had a few YouTube channels. Of course, me and my friend actually started up this YouTube channel together. And then I just continued going. I still have passion for YouTube. I still think it's just so much fun. It's such a cool hobby. So yeah, that's basically what my inspiration was to start YouTube. Is just it looked like a right barrel of laughs, and I thought that was something that I wanted to get into. Now, in terms of did you think it would ever get this far, I never even considered it. It didn't even come into my mind that my YouTube channel would get big. I didn't even think that my YouTube channel would grow. I was like, who on earth is going to be watching my videos? Why on earth would they want to watch me do anything? But I have to say I'm very happy that it did, because it's been such a life-changing experience for me. Obviously, it's provided me with one of the coolest jobs in the history of mankind. It's allowed a ton of opportunities. It's allowed me to meet a bunch of really interesting people that I wouldn't have been able to meet otherwise. And I have to say, it's definitely been the best decision of my life to start up this YouTube channel. So from the bottom of my heart, I have to say, thank you ever so much to you guys for showing me so much support, because I haven't actually mentioned this in an episode, but we've just passed 900,000 subscribers, which means that we're on the home straight for 1 million. A million subscribers. I don't even know what to say on that one. I mean, 1 million subscribers was a ridiculous goal. It still is a ridiculous goal. And when I started my YouTube channel, you know, for a start, there was only a few YouTube channels that had 1 million subscribers. When I first started YouTube 5 years ago, you know, 1 million subscribers was like, you were the biggest person on YouTube if you had like 1 million subscribers. I remember, who was it? Ray William Johnson had 3 million subscribers, and he was the biggest YouTuber. So nowadays, you know, we have people like PewDiePie, who's probably on like 30 gazillion or something like that. But yeah, 1 million just still is that number in my head. That is like the big one. And I'll be honest, we look like we're on track to hit it. I mean, I'm not going to say 100% that we are going to get 1 million subscribers, because who knows what might happen. Who knows what could happen. But we are looking right now as if we're going to be on track to hit it within the next 3 months, which is completely mental, I have to say. So thank you ever so much for your support. You guys are the best, and you really have changed my life for the better. Massively, massively, massively. And I don't say that enough. I don't say thank you enough. If I could, I'd say thank you every single episode, but I suppose that would get just a little bit boring. And I think, you know what? I'm going to end on that note, because that's just a really positive thing to end on, that you guys are the best. You seriously are the best, and I can't say that enough. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a little bit different from the usual Hermitcraft episode. I'm not going to be doing these particularly often, but I just thought I fancied a change today, doing a bit of a question and answer session. But if you have enjoyed this one, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.